Meg Hoerner here. We're back at Meg Hoerner Law, and you can also check me out at www.njcriminalpodcast.com. Once again, the information that I provide to you here today is not intended to give you legal advice. It is not intended to establish any kind of attorney-client relationship between me and my listeners. If you are arrested, if you need an attorney, you need to hire one. And so I want to talk to you today about pretrial intervention. In New Jersey, there is a diversionary program called pretrial intervention. You may have heard it called PTI. PTI is intended for individuals who have never had an indictable level conviction before. If you're wondering what an indictable level charge is, you can check out a more recent video that I did on that particular topic. But PTI is intended for people who really are first-time offenders, are charged with third or fourth degree offenses. If you are charged with a first or second degree offense, you're likely not to get PTI. You can't even apply for PTI on a more serious charge without the permission of the prosecutor. Same with any kind of domestic violence cases. You need the permission of the prosecutor to even apply, even if it is a third or fourth degree offense. But pretrial intervention is, again, intended for first-time offenders. You can only get it one time in your life. So we refer to your PTI strike. Once you have PTI, even if you've successfully completed it, you're not going to be able to get it again. At that point in time, you would be facing a potential criminal conviction if convicted for that particular charge. But PTI is essentially a probationary type of disposition. It can range anywhere from 6 months to 3 years. Sometimes the prosecutor wants you to enter a guilty plea as a condition of your admission into PTI. Sometimes not. Typically, you don't have to plead guilty to get into PTI. There may be certain conditions like you would have on probation, drug and alcohol evaluation, get a job, go to school, all of those types of things, random urine screens, pay restitution if you have owe someone money because of the nature of your particular offense. So the conditions are dependent upon your particular circumstance. You successfully complete PTI, again, whether it's 6 months, whether it's 12 months, whether it's 2 years, whether it's 36 months, your case gets dismissed, you're eligible for an expungement. We can talk about expungements on a different video. One thing I want to just point out, and this is something that has come up more recently, if you are an out-of-state resident and you are required to plead guilty as a condition of getting into PTI, that is a particular circumstance that you need to be aware of and talk to your attorney about. Because what happens is under the Interstate Compact, a guilty plea is treated a little bit differently if you're an out-of-state resident. You're going to have to end up being treated kind of like you're on probation and have a, for example, in Pennsylvania, you would actually have a probation/parole officer, and there's other things that you need to be aware of. So that's something that came up more recently. It's not a new law, but it's basically a proper interpretation of existing law. But again, generally speaking, you don't need to enter a guilty plea to get into PTI. It's a great program. It's a great opportunity. One other thing that you need to keep in mind is if you ever had a CD, a conditional dismissal, conditional discharge down in municipal court, you're not going to be eligible for PTI. That is a separate diversionary program that is available to individuals in municipal court. If you got that opportunity in municipal court, you're not going to be able to get PTI. Another interesting twist, there was just a case that came out in New Jersey. They used to give out these CDs in municipal court for marijuana cases. We now know marijuana is legal, and marijuana charges, if you had one, are all dismissed and expunged by the state. For whatever reason, the powers that be in the courts have determined that if you had a CD for a marijuana case, even though that's going to be dismissed, you're not eligible for PTI up in Superior Court. Doesn't make sense to me, but that's where the state of the law is now. I know that that's being challenged, but something else to keep in mind. So, once again, happy to answer any questions. You can email me. You can leave comments below. And again, this is not intended to be legal advice. If you have a charge, you need to really get an attorney. And I look forward to having you come back and listen to the show. Thanks again.